What's up? Brandon here. So, it's been quite a long time since I started this little bag journey. Um, it was around sometime in 2015. Um, I had always loved bags since I was a kid. I love little bags with zippers and all kinds of little pockets and things. Um, and from Alabama, ended up moving up to Seattle eventually. And there I really found out about gear and camping and hiking and weather. And, I ended up going through quite a few really nice backpacks, especially running style backpacks from Solomon and, waterproof compartments and, comfortable and lightweight and new materials, etc. So I was into it for quite a while. But in 2015, I was in New York City and I had learned about this company, Chrome Industries. And they make these really cool messenger bags. I think they started in New York. And I was there and I ended up buying this really cool, like envelope style bag that had the straps coming out of the sides of the bags, out of the bag. And it was made out of this really nice Cordura with like really nice Velcro and that buckle, um, you know, quick release that they were kind of famous for, their unique little car seat buckle. Anyway, it was a really cool bag, and I was walking around New York with it, with my tablet inside, and like it was just winter time, and it just felt like really cool. I love that bag. So fast forward to 2016, and it turns out that bag was quite small. It wasn't very as practical as I thought. And so I ended up giving it up and ended up going back to a backpack style. And I ended up motorcycling from Alabama to San Francisco for about 6 months into the early 2016. And I was on a backpack at that point. And then in LA, I ended up buying this Mountain Smith, um, like large hip bag. I still have it actually. It's in India, and I love that bag. It was like a dual purpose. It had like big hip straps, but it was a Mountain Smith bag, and it also had the strap around your neck. You could use it if you wanted to, or do dual duty, so you could even kind of run with it as it was strapped down. And I really liked that style because you could get into everything quite easily. It had a big zip, and it opened up, and you could like see all your stuff. And it was quite easy and practical to use. Made out of also, I think, 500 or 1000 D Cordura. Really nice, really well made. And also kept my tablet in there. I don't think my laptop would fit. Oh, I got rid of my laptop by then. Anyway, um, so from there, I ended up going back to Thailand. I flew from San Francisco back to Thailand, where I'd been living some. And in Thailand, it's a little different. I wasn't really using bags the same way, but I had that Mountain Smith bag and I was using it. And then at some point, let's see, a couple years later, I was in northern India and I was in this little village called Vashisht, and it's up on this mountainside, like in the foothills of the Himalayas. And I was walking along this path, and I come to this river coming down the side of the mountain. And I was there, and I looked down, and I saw this bag in these bushes along the side of this river going down the mountain. And so in this bush there was this like old, it looked basically like an old children's school backpack, maybe like for a 12-year-old, but it was just destroyed in this bush, in this like, I ended up going down. I was like, I wonder if I can get it, dry it out, cut it up, and then make a bag out of that fabric, and and use maybe the some of the straps and the buckles that were there. Kind of crazy idea, but it just kind of popped in my head. Like, I wonder if I could do it. So I ended up going down and getting that bag and taking it home, drying it out, cutting it up, cleaning it out. Ended up with panels, and my idea was to try to recreate a version of that Chrome Industries bag. out of this old, horrible backpack. So I ended up cutting panels out and like getting the design. I had some clips. I went to the little shop and bought some little clips. Like now I have all the little small ones that I use. This was a huge progression from where I was to now. I mean, these things are amazing. Um, and so I ended up putting it together and going to the seamstress in town. This old guy with an old sewing machine. I was, thinking I'm crazy, charging me like 100 rupees to sew this thing together. 100 rupees, maybe like a euro, a little over a euro. And so then I started to realize, oh my, I can do this. It's coming together. I'm making something kind of out of nothing, and it was a success. I have photos of that bag, because I was starting to date my now wife. We'd been dating for a little while, and I was sharing with her about it and like what had happened. And I'm sure she thought I was crazy. And I was making my way down from the northern India down to Goa to meet up with her, and I was going to be taking buses and all kinds of stuff along the way. And now I had this new bag that I made similarly to that Chrome Industries bag, and crazy enough, it was working. It was like it was working. But I quickly was noticing, oh, I could change this, or I could change this, or I can make little additions to this, or what if I got some other fabric, or what if I, go out and I see another backpack and I can get it. I started looking around everywhere I went. I was just looking at if I could notice anything. I mean, to the point it got a little crazy when I was here in Portugal. I was like walking on the road one time and I saw this old, like a woman's shoe. It was one shoe made out of leather. I was like, I wonder if I can take that and make a watch strap out of it. I started making all kinds of stuff, but I ended up taking this old shoe out of leather, cutting it up, and then making a leather watch strap out of it. And then it ended up working. It was a fun thing. I mean, it's leather. You just have to, cut it up and sew it together in the correct way. Anyway, so I have this new bag that I just made, but I hadn't started sewing yet. And then I made my way all the way down to Goa, and I met up with Elsa, and we start, living together eventually. And she was working, and I was just making bags. I started, I figured out I could get a needle and thread and start sewing. So that's what I did. I got a needle and thread and I got some fabric. I kept hunting. I would get this really crappy fake leather fabric from the shop, really cheap stuff, and just like having these ideas and putting it together and sewing it. And at that time, I was taking a needle with thread and just doing the most basic um, stitch there is. It's not. It can barely even be called a stitch. It's just in and out, in and out, in and out, over and under, over and under, over and under, and then at the end, doing a little knot at the end. It's. I didn't know at the time how weak that really was. To me, I just didn't know. This was all such a weird progress. It made no sense. There was no like training. There was only learning by your mistakes, which were happening all the time. So I ended up sewing crazy amount of bags, killing my fingers by pushing this needle through. Of course, I found out that you could use a thimble, and you protect your thumb, protect your fingers when you're pushing it through. But I still, my hands were just destroyed by doing this. The things that I did, I was pushing through because I didn't know about seam allowances and folds and like the adding of fabrics together when you're on corners, all these things. I had no idea. So when I was doing it, I was going through so many thick, really difficult layers. It was crazy. Anyway, so that was a couple of years of doing that, a couple of seasons in Goa. And then COVID hit, and I was doing some research, and I ended up finding this thing. This is the a sewing awl,
AWL, and it's basically got a needle and it's got a well, you can use whatever needle you want, but it's got a holder, and so you put the needle in here in a certain way. And this is just a machine needle. It's got a little groove here. You can't see it probably. It's got a little groove. It's got a little hole, and it goes in a certain way. It's even got a little place for a bobbin, but I never used that. I started out trying it, but I ended up figuring out a better way to do it over time. So I found this and I was like, oh, okay, this looks pretty interesting. A company called Cellrite sells it, and they call it the Speedy Stitcher. And it does a full sewing machine lock stitch, but you do it each one by hand. You take the thread and put it through this little groove here, and it comes out, and it goes through, and then it goes through the needle head eye out the other side. And you have to, like, if you have a length about this long, you have to do it a little like double, and so the thread goes in one side, out the other, and then you go through again, and then you do a lock stitch, and you have tension and everything. So each stitch is done individually. Anyway, I found this, and I was like, okay, that's cool. So I could do it without a sewing machine. Um, so I got the, I was thinking about it, got the juices running, and then in like November of 2020, I had flown. Me and Elsa were in India, and we were there during COVID for like 6 months. And in August we got the ability to take a let's see, a repatriation flight or something like that, some type of emergency flight back to your home country. So I went to America and she went to Portugal. So I get to America and I'm hanging with family and I'm there. She ends up coming to visit and staying with us for a couple months from like November to December. But during that time, I was looking at bags, and she had noticed that I was looking at bags, and I was torn between this VanQuest bag that I really love, this messenger style VanQuest bag. It just was badass, or making my own bag. And I was like, okay, I wonder if I can do it. If I can order from Ripstop by the roll and order everything I need and make a bag. So I ended up in America buying all the stuff. I think I spent like $70, and at that time I had not much money. So it was like, it was a little bit of a risk, to think if I was going to screw it up. But I bought the fabric, ended up coming back to Portugal at the end of December, and this was the beginning of COVID. So it was winter, and I had this workspace here, and I had all the fabric, I had everything I needed, and I ended up spending 60 days making this bag by hand. Now, I had very specific requirements that I like specs that I wanted to hit on this bag, and I did complete overkill on everything. But one thing that I truly wanted was a big bottom. I wanted this bag to sit up like this. Like it has nothing in it right now. I wanted it to be able to sit up like this. Anytime I put it down, I wanted it to be able to sit up. So you sit down on the bench, pull it back, boom, all your stuff is right here. Big front zip pocket. Ah, there. We never close this. There you go. So big zip pocket in the front, which we don't ever zip actually. But anyway, I ended up going completely overkill on this bag. Um, Big front pockets, put your whole hand inside. I wanted it really big side pockets. Now this bag is absolutely overkill to the max. Double, triple, quadruple layer, 1680D, 1000D Cordura. I mean, it's just a beast. This thing has these are 5 millimeter steel bar D rings that I had made. it, you know, it's sewn with box stitch, triple stitch. It's just completely overkill for a messenger bag. Elsa loves this bag. I wanted magnetic buckles, so I got that. Basically, I wanted to try to make the perfect bag for me. I wanted a bag that would be a messenger bag that had an easy, quick access to my phone. I wanted to be able to get to my phone very fast, and I wanted it to stand up all the time by itself. And I want it to be a big, just open chamber here that I can get into easily, like that. So that's what I did. And I would say when I used it for the first couple of years, like crazy. For the first 6 months, I mean, I basically just slept with it. I was so in love. Um, and look at this 1680D ballistic nylon with, I think this is 500D ripstop nylon as a liner. That's what I use for the liner. Completely crazy. I lined the pockets. Insane. Oh, I like this. Look at that. This is 500D ripstop with a 1000D Cordura. I mean, this pocket is bomb proof, you know? So this bag was completely overkill. But I had just had this idea that I wanted to make it like the most robust bag ever, you know? So that's what I did. Now I ended up giving this to Elsa, basically. This is her bag. She uses it. Um, she loves this bag. You know, it's all black. You can't see inside very well. I mean, you can, like if you have it open and you're sitting here, you can, but it is dark because it is all black. Pretty crazy. All black. Um, so this is Elsa's bag now. And then when I gave her this bag, I had another idea to make another bag. And because I had been hearing about VX21. So I'd been hearing about this sailcloth, and then I was down in India, and I got these guys who do kite surfing. I got them to um, give me some old kites. So I ended up cutting up all this old kites and ended up making a lot of bags out of this actually. Like I really like these type of bags that are just super simple, like that. This is like old kite surfing fabric that just turned into a really cool little like pocket that I have, stuff in it. Sewing materials, hardware, little things like that. I used to carry this bag inside of another bag actually. For a while, this was one of my favorite bags. I made this one out of old cloth, and it was so cool. This was the first big cat big leader bag made out of lightweight fabric that I made. So actually, I think this after this bag, this was kind of like the next one that I was really excited about. And I did use this for quite some time. I loved that it was so lightweight and yet could hold so much. I really, really love that. You're not as important as you think. Isn't that the truth? So I made this one at the same time. At the same time, I made this bag. Now this bag was supposed to be a small messenger, and it is a small messenger, but I've stopped using it, and it is really, really, really lightweight. This is like a really lightweight silk cloth. The whole bag weighs nothing, and you can just pack down, and it holds a ton. I've got all this old stuff in here. Like this is the fabric that it's made from. Very, very thin. So this bag's super lightweight, but still incredibly durable. Really nice bag. Really nice colors. I used a stronger fabric on the bottom, a different part of the sail. So that's a cool bag. This was probably used, this was used for a few months, and then I kept moving on, and then, so, let's see. Then I got the idea for this VX21. I heard about it, and I was like, okay, I'm kind of sold I really want to make a bag out of this. So I had a new idea. This was it. I wanted to make a big messenger bag that was so lightweight that even though it was big, you could still use it on a daily basis with everyday carry if you wanted to. And with this one, I really wanted to go big time on the bottom. So I made this bottom huge, huge. Look at that. And for this bag, I used VX50 Tactical for the bottom, back, and the cover strap. I mean, the cover flap. So this is VX50 Tactical, and the bottom is VX50 Tactical. And then the sides are VX21, black VX21. And then the inside is, this is VX21 pocket, inside VX21, and then also there's a back pocket here that's VX21, and this is just the inside of the Tactical. So this bag, the idea was I wanted it to be able to sit up. That's the main thing about all of my bags. I really like the idea of them standing up straight on their own. I want to be able to have the bag, have all my stuff, and be ready to go. This is a cool bag I made. Really lightweight with divider down the middle, and then all these little. So I have all these pockets for like cables, battery packs, whatever it is, and then it just, it's so cool because it just slips right here, and it just boom. How nice is that? So this was probably I would say my best bag I ever had made up until this point for sure. I love this bag the way it looks. Just a huge cavity inside. Oh, here's another little bag I made. A little zip bag. This was when I was actually testing the VX50 Tactical versus the VX21. So I was like, let's see how that sews. Let's see how that works. See, the inside of the VX21 is this white, and the Tactical is this. It's actually a crazy. It's a aramid fiber, so this stuff is just crazy strong. All of these fabrics are insane. So that's a cool little bag. But this bag is supposed to be just a big, fat, open area. That's all I wanted, was just a big open area that you can just put stuff. And the idea was that you will have this open cavity that you can fit tons of stuff in, and then you'll have a smaller bag, and that's where this one comes in. And so at the same time I made this one, I made this bag first, and then I made this bag. So this bag was the I call it the 0.5. So this is the 1.5 bag travel. So with this bag, the idea was, and I had actually smaller straps on here, but Elsa's been using this bag lately. So this bag would be like this. You have it in, put it in here like that. So you'd have the bag inside the bag. So you'd have all your stuff here, like your laptop, have maybe a jacket, maybe a water bottle here, and then maybe I traveled with it, so I put about that much layers of clothes on the bottom. Then I put this bag in, and this bag has all my EDC stuff. So as you can see, like these little VX21 pouches, big cavity. You just open it up, got your electrolytes. This is my wife's stuff actually. Got a nice little knife. Yeah, just a cavity with all your little EDC stuff. I really like having bags like this, small bags that are just have everything in there, and then you can just reach in there quickly and get to them. So she's been using this bag lately. So this is all her stuff. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. I made these sweet little ballistic nylon bags, little wallets. How sweet is that? Really nice ballistic nylon. Little secret pocket here. Change pocket for change, credit cards, cash. Very cool. So she's using this. So this would be your EDC stuff. Phone, another pocket here, big pocket in the front. And this would be your EDC stuff, your EDC bag that you carry every day. And this goes inside. So when you travel with all your EDC stuff and all your other stuff packed in this bag. Then you take it and boom, you're off. So that's the idea of this whole setup is this 1.5 bag travel. Now, it turns out what ended up happening mostly is like everyday carry was this bag. I've been using this bag for the last like year and a half, and it's been absolutely perfect for everyday carry. The whole thing's made out of VX21, super lightweight, super strong, amazing hardware, magnetic buckle, just really lightweight, and just go like feels really good up on you, on your bag, on your back. You know, with the one hand unclip. So when you're using this bag on a day-to-day basis, I wanted a bag that I could easily put my phone, so I can easily put my phone in here and take it out right here. Boom, take it in, take it out. I'm in and out of my bag all day, so I need to be able to get in and out super quick and get to what I need. So this bag for everyday carry was just it transformed what I felt about everyday carry. It made it so lightweight, so easy to do, so practical, and like in India especially, I'm getting wet. Maybe I'm in the ocean or I'm walking around, I'm sweating, I'm dirty, and with this bag I could be wet and then have it up on me, and I knew it wouldn't matter because it's completely water resistant. So this bag was a game changer for me. I've been using this like I said for about a year and a half. Now, recently, I went to America for 40 days, and I ended up taking this setup for 40 days. I had clothes, all my stuff, this inside, everything was just packed out perfectly. Went to America, didn't check luggage, just put it up in the top, and it will fit on the front at your feet as well. Like it'll go under the seat in front of you. This bag fits perfectly under the seat in front of you. Oftentimes, what I'll do, travel, I'll put it underneath my legs actually, and then because it's black, I'll put it underneath my legs and then put a little like shirt or like jacket over my legs, and then they won't see that I have it under my legs because they want you to put it up under the front seat, but it does fit perfectly under there. Elsa, so where I was going with that, actually coming back from America was cool because I had my laptop, a 15.6-inch external monitor, two 12.4-inch tablets, um, a couple of coloring books for Elsa that I was getting her, these adult coloring books, clothes, uh, so much. I ended up packing this one completely full, and I had this one full. So I ended up carrying this bag on my back, crossbody, and then I had this also crossbody. And this was a fantastic way to travel, actually, because before I had this inside, but now this was like on my back, stationary. I didn't need to access it, and then this one was like right here that I had everything I needed super quick. That was a game changer for me. I didn't realize that was going to be such a cool thing to do, but I ended up doing it because I had so much that I was bringing back to Portugal from America, stuff that I purchased, all kinds of new stuff. I ended up getting two tablets while I was there, a new pair of these like barefoot shoes I had, a couple of new shirts, all kinds of stuff. I ended up filling it up. That's why I ended up doing it that way. It was kind of out of necessity, and then it turned out to be really, really cool. Um, so anyway, I get back, and then Elsa, she was going to this qigong training. She ended up getting back just a couple of days ago, and she was like, "Okay, you had such a good time with this bags on your trip to America. Why don't you let me use it? Why don't you let me try?" So she had the idea of taking both of these bags to Paris. She actually ended up only taking the big one, um, but she was planning on taking both. And because of that, I was like, okay, well, why don't you just take this black bag over from now on, and I'll make myself a new bag. Of course I did, right? So, where do you think I'm going with this? So now that she is the owner of this bag will keep sharing because like traveling, she does have like a carry-on like hard shell case that she likes. So she'll probably use that. Um, so that brings us to the latest creation. This is my favorite bag I ever made so far. And this is the bag that I want to try to see if people would want it. I think this style, it is the culmination of everything that I've done. It is so, so good, so practical, so nice. Um, it's just ridiculous. I love this bag. I ended up, because I was going from all black all the time, I was like, hey, why don't I go all white? So, to Elsa's dismay, because she was like, ah, I'm never going to want that bag because it's an all white. But it turns out she likes it. So, one thing I didn't mention about these bags, this bag and this bag, this were the first bags that I thought of new stitching techniques. And I ended up, when I was theorizing and planning this bag, I was like, okay, how do I make it as strong as possible? I don't want to keep using this same thread or the same needles or the same stitch. So I ended up finding new needles. I ended up going with these really small Microtex needles, really, really nice needles, very super sharp, incredibly strong, very thin, just fantastic needles. By Microtex. They sell those on specialty stores online. And then the star of the show actually is this thread. This Dyneema thread is unbelievably strong. It it's great. It's like I think it's like 15 kgs on one string. That's how the strength of it is. So when you combine that with stitching, it becomes impossibly strong very quickly. I mean, you can't break it. I never like I used to break the nylon. I used to use this double bonded nylon thread that's very strong. But you can break it. You can break it. You cannot break this. It's ridiculous how strong this thread is. You can't even really cut it. You have to have serrated scissors to cut it because it's so slippery and hard, like hard, hard to cut. So with this thread, this awl, and these needles, I was thinking, okay, now what kind of stitch should I do? What would be the most possible strength and flexibility that I could do? So on this bag was the first bag that I tried the double reverse zigzag stitch. So this is a I don't know if that name exactly does it, but it's a zigzag, okay? Zigzag at a specific length, at like specific wave, like 5 millimeters, and then at a certain degree, 5 millimeters, and then a certain degree, 5 millimeters, and so that's the zig, right? That's the zigzag, okay? And then the reverse is going back over it the opposite way, so it's doing zigzag, then the reverse zigzag. So it turns out basically like this. Now, this is my newest look. This is a special double reverse zigzag. I made sort of a mountain design on this bag. These bags were just the basic double reverse, but you can see just how pretty that stitch is. Very, very, very cool. Almost like just a continuous diamond, and it sort of matches the VX21 diamond shape. So all the stitching on the inside, everything's done in this double reverse zigzag. So it brings me to this bag. This bag, all double reverse stitching, VX21 white with magnetic buckles, hardware. Magnetic hardware. So this is like a version of the V buckle, but I wanted a 50 millimeter, and Fidlock doesn't make a 50 millimeter. So I ended up getting a brand off of AliExpress, and turns out it's awesome. It works great. So 50 millimeter polyester non-absorbent webbing with this uh, magnetic V buckle. I wanted everything to be completely waterproof, so even the webbing is polyester, does not absorb at all. All the fabric, even the cushioning here is non-absorbent at all. So, and the straps are non-absorbent. I wanted something really, really lightweight and something that wouldn't bother me. You know, even if you just throw it down like that, it's not a lot of fabric. You know, with these types of bags, it's, I mean, this is a very strong, lightweight polyester strap as well. And this is very nice. I mean, throwing that down and being okay with it is cool. This bag is so lightweight and so big. I love it. But with this small bag, I wanted something really small. So this is a kite surfing. See if this is still recording. Yeah. This is a kite surfing cord. I mean, you can't cut it. It's so many layers. You can cut it, but it's like takes some sawing. Really strong. And so I made one strap for your, put it on your back or crossbody like that. Okay. And then the other strap, the smaller one, is for picking it up like this. So much, when you just want to go, you just want to quickly pick it up, you know. You're like, all right, let me just move from like here to here, you want to quickly pick it up. Sometimes I'll pick it up like this with the hardware. So, two ways of holding it, picking it up, like this and like this. Okay. So the bag is well, you can just see gusseted pockets on the sides, one panel for the back and the flap, 50 millimeter Duraflex hardware. I used VX21 black for all the trimmings, like for the front, for the side pockets. Okay, and like it just feels. This is packed out pretty good, but it feels really solid, really solid. Big pocket over here. Both of these pockets are gusseted, so you can put your whole hand in there quite nice, quite easily. Um, so let's go inside. Oh, and of course, this bag. Of course, I wanted it with a big bottom, so I made it with a really wide bottom. I kind of took everything I learned from this one and made it a little bit bigger and a little bit better. Now you can tell it's not that much bigger, but I did make it specifically like a little. It's like 10 millimeters, like 1 centimeter uh, bigger. And but one thing I didn't do on this one, I didn't make gusseted pockets, and on this one I made gusseted pockets. And this one would hold my 12.4-inch tablet, but it would be a little bit like pushed out. So this one I made it where it would fit the tablet perfectly. And I also wanted 50 mil. These are, I think, 30 maybe, and these are 50. So I really wanted to have a wider um, hardware. I just like it. I think it looks better. It's overkill completely, but I think it just looks better. So so there we go. Let's open it up. So one cool thing about this middle strap, this middle cord, that I only found out like after using this bag, for a little bit was that you can flip it over like this. And now it's kind of like a little, it like the cable goes through there, and because of this hardware, it stays up, and it's like a little protection there. It's amazing. I love that. I really, really love that. So I usually keep it like this. You know, if I'm out for a walk, in the town, you know, and I'm here, and then I'll sit on a park bench and I flip it open, and I love having all of my stuff just like so nicely organized in here. So we got the big gusseted side pockets. Okay. This one I keep my phone in all the time because when you have it on your back, the phone's right there, so I can easily take it in and out. This pocket, I usually don't keep anything in it really, because I have so much other space. But right now I've got a little towel, and I keep this little bag. It's like a little hidden little pouch that has, you know, I keep some little EDC scissors in here, a little 100-watt cable. You know, I'm in Portugal, always got to have a wine opener. I've got a, you know, little mustache brush. Not the best in the world, but it does the job. Little plastic pouches, you know, just all little EDC stuff in there. And then when you put it in, you just slide it right back in there. Very, very quick and easy. And you know what you're carrying in there. So when you take it out, it's like boom, there it is. I'm I get to what I need quickly. Oh, here's a lighter. Boom. Got it. Also keep lighters in here. But this is just like some extra little stuff that I don't need all the time, but it's nice to have it so easily accessible. Phone pocket, easy in and out. I love that. And I only put my phone in here. So that's there. Big front gusseted pocket here. I usually keep just a microfiber towel inside. And I usually keep only my Samsung Galaxy Buds. You're not as important as you think you are. Okay. So in this front pocket, I usually just carry that. When I'm in India, I carry keys as well, usually keys, and that's it, usually. Okay, here we go, the main deal. So what do I got? I've got 1 liter Hydra Pack bottle that I love these because, you know, they kind of fit in nice places and they don't leak. And then as you drink them, they get smaller, obviously. That's quite nice. I've got this is a very lightweight windbreaker hoodie. I love this. You know, I don't have any hair, so this really, in a pinch, you know, if it gets a little chilly, a little windy, you know, protects your neck and head. It's really, really nice, and it's just so packable. So there's that. Let's see, this is a 100-watt Baseus charger. Okay, and I've got the Inu 27,000 milliamp 100-watt charger. Okay, and then let's see what else we got. This one I already have. Now this is something kind of came set afterwards. After I made this bag, I had this idea. Okay, I kind of want to make something where it's the height of the bag, and I have storage. So in this bag, I made this really nice, you know, little pouch that just sits here right in front of my tablet, and it's just like there. And I don't take it out. I just leave it inside usually. And so in the front one, I've got my watch cable charger. I've got in the middle one, I've got all kinds of stuff. Big flashlight. I've got a drill bit set. Um, Basically, it's just a big pocket. I've got a little clipper set. All little EDC stuff. I got a little pliers with some little EDC things. Some more. Oh, look at this. Another wine opener. I got a little clip on the side. This little Nightcore EDC flashlight. I love this thing. It's so nice. Really, they killed it with this thing. These are little additions. I did put this clip on there. On there, it's a titanium little clip with a magnetic little key ring clip. but I just keep it right here, right there. Then in the next pocket, I've got my comb. I've got oh, this is pretty cool. I made this wallet. I've got my wallet with the dividers, change on one side, cash, cards. Got a little 1 terabyte hard drive. Um, yeah, I love this little wallet. So this kind of stays in here. Comb. This is I think a two 2 meter cable. I always really just use this cable for charging. So that keeps in there. And then on the sides, I've got a pen. I've got another pen. I've got a a Rotring mechanical pencil. I love this thing. If I'm gonna write, I like to write with a pencil. So this bag just stays in here, pretty much like that. Okay. Then in the back, I've got my Samsung tablet. Stays in this nice case, 12 inches with the pen holder. This thing's amazing. I've kind of stopped using my laptop. I'm just using this and my phone. So then I just cut this out. This was a camping pad, and I cut this out. And I don't need to have this, but it's quite nice to have this here. And a lot of times, if I'm out walking and I want to sit down on a bench, or if it's early in the morning and it's cold, I'll take this out and then I'll sit on this. And it's actually really nice to have. So that goes in there. And then what else do we have? So then on the side, it's hard to see, but on the side there's a little clip right there, and I keep my knife, and I also keep this little bag that I made here. This is pretty cool. So this is just, this bag is like 14, 15 liters, and you never know when you might just need some more space. If you go grocery shopping or whatnot. I made a big grocery bag out of really lightweight ripstop sailcloth material, and then for the straps, I used VX21. How cool is that? And then with the Dyneema thread, I did a little box stitch here. This thing is very, very strong. Very strong. I've had 12 liters of water in it in plastic bottles. 12 liters of water, like, just, and it's pretty cool because you can actually, I had all the water in it, and then I just put it on like a backpack. So I just put it on like a backpack like that, and then, your hands free, and you're like, I had 12 and a half liters of water in there. Pretty cool. That was when I was camping the other day. I was on this mountain, and on top of the mountain, they have a little park, like a little like rustic park. And at the park, they have a tap with mountain water coming out of it. Crazy good. So that is that. So I got, okay. So I keep this in here. You can see how much I keep in here. And I do keep this stuff in here all the time. And that's it. I don't have anything on the other side. So we'll take all of this out. I do have a little like waterproof. These are actually, they put these in drawers in the kitchen to put silverware and stuff on. It's like a non-slip. But funnily enough, these things are crazy strong, and they do not absorb water. So they're like cushy, don't absorb water, and just insanely resilient. So they make actually a really good um, like bottom. So that's it. There's the big inside bag. Even completely empty, it stands up. I've got all the specs on it, like completely. The weight, I think the weight of it is like, I have it written down. Um, it's actually on my phone. It's something ridiculously less. I'll have to get it. I'll send all the specs actually with the video. But anyway, so the point of this whole thing is I feel like this is such a neat story And I'm 42. I'm gonna be 43 this year, and right now I'm the general manager. Me and my wife run this yoga retreat center in India, and it's awesome, and we love it. But it's not gonna last forever. We're not gonna keep doing this forever, and I don't want to keep necessarily going to India forever either. Um, and I really like making things with my hands. With our job now, I do have to spend a lot of time emails and talking to people, and I do love it, but I do like working with my hands and making something and making money for it, like in an exchange for it. I love that. I can make something and trade it with you for your energy, and I'm sharing you with my energy. It's just such a old school way of living. You know, you're making something and then trading it for somebody their what they've saved up for to trade. You know, they had to put their blood, sweat, and tears into something, and they got some little energy, we call it money, and they want a nice bag, and they're willing to trade for it. You know, and this bag, 26 hours, what is that? I mean, it's 2 days of work, 2.5, 3 days. Let's say 3 days of work. Yeah, it's cool. I love it. So the idea with this EDC, this bag, is that the idea is that the kind of the view. Let's say you go into a cafe, you got it on, you walk in, take your bag off, put it down, sits up perfectly, undo it, pull it back, boom. All your stuff is right here. Now it's sitting beside you. Take your tablet out. You got your tablet, you got your stuff. Everything. It's kind of like it's just like a perfect companion with you. You know, right here, everything, you have all of your stuff right here in such a small, lightweight, water resistant package. All of the stitching is double reverse. I used a basically around a 5 millimeter to 1 centimeter seam allowance. So it is just crazy, crazy strong. Crazy, crazy strong. Anyway, so this is the bag, and I thought basically what could happen is, if I ended up sending this bag and getting like having it tested and tried, then maybe we could put them, you know, have it for sale on my website if I get it done. And I can start making like 3 of these a month. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. All of this is passion. This is all passion. But how do you maintain that passion or continue that passion when you're making when you're not have to, but you're sort of you gave your sort of word that you're gonna do it for them. Somebody sees it and they go, "Oh, I want it." And you go, "Okay, I'll make it for you." Now you kind of need to make it for them, and it's exciting. And then I'll be able to, maybe I can make a little video of each one that I make. I wouldn't be able to do all of them, and then I can send it to them, and just the surprise on their face when they get it. I mean, this thing, if you got it, you know, and you took it out of the box, that's another thing that this will ship very easily just by packing it down and flattening it. It'll flatten really easily. But how cool would it be for this to be in a box and it literally come out like this? I think that would be pretty cool. You open up the box and it's just like sitting there, and it's so light. I just got my phone in it right now. Let's see what else I got. I think I got a few more things. Look at that. Just super light. Really nice. Anyway, I'm just curious. I want to share this idea, but I want to do it in a way that could be sustainable for me over time. I could see myself, starting to do this now, and then by the time I'm 60, there's some sort of name for myself, and maybe I'm doing only custom bags for people, one-off bags for like $1,000, I spend a week on it, and it's just amazingly unique. Um, what's up, Elsacita? So that is it. I guess I'm gonna leave it there. Um, God, love this bag. I really, really, I'm a little obsessed to be honest with you right now. Like I'm in that love, 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 love phase where I just can't get enough. But it's so nice to be able to, you just put it down and it stands up. I mean, this is completely empty and it's just like perfectly straight, stiff. I love it. It's perfect. Is my phone on fire with this 1 hour video record? Anyway, so that's the bag. Um, that is the bag. Oftentimes, like when I have it all full and it's like this, I'll pick it up like this, and if I want to move it easily. It's so practical, this bag. So practical. It's like the perfect EDC bag. So I finished this bag maybe. Oh yeah, I finished this bag like 2 weeks ago, I guess. And really, I leave this stuff in here. This is what I have in my bag on a day-to-day basis. In fact, I keep this next to my bed, and I just keep it next to my bed open. So on my side of the bed, it's on the floor, and when I need something, it's right there. I don't take this stuff out. I mean, the water bottle I do. I go running with that water bottle, so I don't have it in here all the time. But I'm not like I am such and I'm such a one bag guy. Like I am such a one bag guy. I know it doesn't look like that here, but I don't use these bags. I mean, this one I use when I'm traveling. That's what it's got to do is when I travel, I use this bag with the small bag. But now I'm going to use this bag with this white bag. But for everyday carry, I'm a one bag guy. No matter what I'm doing, this is the bag I'm carrying. I really like a one bag carry because um yeah, everything's there. Everything's already in there. So there's nothing you don't have to be like, "Oh, did I remember to get this or did I forget about this?" No, everything's in there. See, look at that. So this is how I'll wear it. And then I'll pull it around like this, take it off, and then I'll hold it like this, and then I have everything here. I can get to everything very, very easily. Even something that's a little bit lower, like my charger, something that's inside one of these little middle bags, can easily get it in just by like keeping it up. That's it. And it's nice, like if you're in the airport or something, you can keep it like this, so it's even quicker. Um, when I'm walking around town, yeah, I just hold it like that, and I've got my phone here. So I always have my phone right here, you know? So you're walking. I really don't like having anything in my pocket, but it needs to be really accessible. So that's the idea behind this type of pocket on the side is just to make the phone really easy to get in and out. Now, if you're in an area that's super pickpockety or whatever, and you have to worry about that, maybe this bag, I don't know. I mean, you could still use it, but you might not want to put your phone right here. But I don't know about you, but I don't live day to day in fear of someone stealing my bag, someone pickpocketing me, or uh, the bag being turned upside down and just dumped out on accident. I don't live in that world. Every day I live, like I go from my house to the village. Um, I'm in and around different rooms in the house. Uh, that's it. That's it. And when I'm in India and we're working, I am, every day I wear the bag, but I don't have all this stuff with it in actually when I'm in India. I keep it really lightweight. Water, phone, couple of other little things, but I want to keep it lightweight and I wear it all day long, really. And it's just like something I always have. Water, um, a hat, my phone, maybe a little snack, something like that, but I always have it with me. Um, yeah, it's just the perfect little EDC bag. Feels great, looks great, and just works so practically and so well. All right, so that has been it from me. Man, 1 hour and 2 minutes. That's crazy. Um, yeah, that's it. I'm gonna leave it there. I'm a little exhausted. 1 hour? That's insane.